You just landed in Leadership and Enlightenment, a podcast where the guests are exceptional humans that have faced their fears to crest into their best selves, growing into a way they can help their communities, creating opportunities, and sharing their secrets and their tips that they learned along the way. Without further ado, here we are, my friends. Have a great time today and enjoy Leadership and Enlightenment. It's a fabulous day in Boise, Idaho. You're here with the MME team. Our friends in Boise have invited us up for Tree Fort Music Fest. This is an amazing event up here, I have to say. But before we get into it, we're going to share a little bit about our team and how we all got started in this. Let's go ahead and kick off with Yvette. Yvette, why don't you share with everybody when you started with MME and what you enjoy most about it?
Well, hi, I'm Yvette. And I started with MME just after, when COVID started. And so I've been with the team about 5.5 years, 5 years and 10 months actually. So it's been a great journey during COVID. It was very, very difficult when we started, and it's just blossomed since then. So it's been a wonderful journey with some of the team earlier on when we had to really struggle through those days of cancellations. And now, just different things happening in the industry, how we share, and we're now traveling together to Boise. So happy to be here.
So cool. Desha, you're up.
All right. How are you? I'm Desha. I actually started with MME in 2017. I was Mike's first hire. Came from a corporate planning background and jumped to this side of the world and have enjoyed my time. And I'm so excited to be in Boise, Idaho.
Julia, why don't you kick it off?
Hello, I am Julia, and I've been with MME for about 2 years now. I've been in the hospitality industry for over 25 years, and before MME, I was with MXGBT for about 7 years doing sourcing and contracting for corporate groups.
Fabulous. And then our newest, Jennifer, it's your turn.
Hey everyone, I'm Jen. I came from a big career in big hotels and just jumped over to MME in the last few months. And so now I'm on the other side, but I think it's going to be a great partnership just because I know hotels like the backside of my hand and love clients, so we'll see.
All right, everyone. So with MME, our biggest focus is that we really love to highlight our partners. Social media is one of our strongest trends, and this podcast really is a way to take it another step farther. So we've all enjoyed this event over the last few days. And we'd like to share with you a little bit about what it makes it special to us. I'm going to kick it off a little bit here and let you know that when we arrived at Tree Fort, what we found were multiple stages throughout town, many, many people having fun at all different age groups, and many different types of music. Fort Fest came from an organic way of looking at celebrating the community and their artistic values. Tree Fort was born from the idea that there's a lot of trees in the area, and Boise was known as a fort. So it may have a connotation to you in the title that might lead you in a different direction, but I have to say that this event is really a lot like South by Southwest. A smaller template, but it's been a blast for the last 2 days. One of the unique things that I love is the fact that they gave us all these cups. So everything here is really conscious about waste and being as efficient as possible. And I have to say, these cups are cute. Everybody's wearing them. We use them for the beer. They're beer gardens, things like that. And there's so many neat little touches this week that just make it unique. And I've been to a lot of festivals and entertainment in Las Vegas, but I have to tell you, this one's really standing apart. And I think it's an amazing opportunity to bring an incentive group or possibly an SKO next year over the same time frame in 27 and bake in this entertainment into your scenario. You'll really enjoy it. But we all have a really cool way of looking at this, so each of us are going to share a little bit more about what we think is special this week. Well, Jen, why don't you go ahead and start off?
Amazing, thank you. I think one of the biggest things that stood out to me being from Detroit, I work really closely with Movement, is the electronic music festival. So Eric and I, the founder of Tree Fort, got to talk a little bit yesterday just about the similarities of the different festivals and the community that it brings in and all of the good things that it does for really all of the outlets that are around in the city. I really want to highlight, I think, where I looked around in Boise, it's clean, it's comfortable, it's new, it's fresh, it's safe, and that's just a nice walkability when you're actually at a festival. When it shuts down at 10 and you go to all the outlets all over and you get to go see all these different bands, it's just a great experience.
I know that you share with me that you were walking home a little late the other night and you just felt like it was safe everywhere you went. And that's something special in our industry right now.
It's true.
Desha, why don't you kick off with some of the things that you really enjoyed?
Yeah, to piggyback off of what Jen said, I was just delightfully surprised at what a cute city Boise is. So walkable. I mean, we walked the city yesterday from one end to the other, and it was just a delight to see all the different restaurants, all the different parts of the town. And then, to end up at the festival last night, it was just great. My favorite part is just, there are so many different hotels here. So many, you have your Marriotts, your Hiltons, but you also have your independent properties that are just absolutely gorgeous. Again, all the different restaurants. Anything you could possibly think of, you can find here. All the food has been absolutely amazing. I feel like all we've been doing is eating, but it's been so good. But yeah, it was really inspirational yesterday getting to meet the creator of Tree Fort and hear where it came from. It was so cute. His daughter was actually listening to one of her favorite bands and was getting major dad points for them being here. And just to see where it started and where it is now was just absolutely amazing, and just shows you that you can have an idea and a dream and make it happen.
Yeah, that's really stood out to me last night as well. And, this podcast really does highlight that part of life that we all enjoy and why we're brokers, is because we get to get out and live in our best selves every day. But to see the community come together, and especially through the way Eric brought it, through his authenticity, it's really something magical. I gotta say, one of the coolest things we walked into yesterday was that big Basque restaurant row area where they had the paella. I thought that was really neat. They said they could do about 900 people out of there.
Yeah, they said they can close off the street, bring in tables, make it like an intimate event out there. And yeah, he was just, tossing all the ingredients in the middle of the street, and people were walking by, and it absolutely smelled insane. And we had just had a really big breakfast, but it still made you hungry walking by and smelling how good it was.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Yvette, I know that you got to come out with us last night. What are you loving?
Yeah, it's a music festival, but don't forget that they have other things going on here as well. So, like you said before, the name kind of doesn't really tell you what it is. So Tree Fort is music mostly, over 500 bands, I think Eric said yesterday. But we got to go to the convention center, which is kind of a neat little area for us to look at for our clients that are wanting to come to the city. It had two very, very large ballrooms that connected through a walkway that is covered, so if there's snow outside or raining, or even if it's just sunny, you could get back and forth. And at the convention center, they had different areas where you could do yoga. They had an area that had plants and like a market, I guess, inside, and you could buy little goodies. And I guess there's different sections in the city that you can walk to that have these things. So there's retailers out there as well that are selling their goods. So it's music plus shopping. So there's something for everybody. Me as a non-drinker, when we went to the festival last night, those cups are amazing, but I don't need them. But they had amazing hot chocolate. So it was really great. So I had hot chocolate, So there is hot chocolate at the festival, so feel free to drink that.
I use your cup.
Some people lose their cups.
You know what's neat is that the community itself, there's no tension. When you're in these environments, you feel like the community is part of your community. And one of the things that really stood out to me last night is that wherever we were, if there was a line, somebody was standing a person back, and there was no direction to do that. It's just they really take into consideration of what it might feel like for the other person, and I think that really stands out in their community as well, and what Boise makes it special.
Yeah, I really love the community. Like Desha and Julia said, you know, it's so walkable. And Jen said it was so, like, she felt so safe, even if you were on your own, walking down the street. Women can walk down the street here. I mean, of course, every city you have to be careful. But I feel like it's a really small city with a lot to do in the city. It's something that wasn't on my radar since I've come. I mean, I just foresee so many groups wanting to come here.
Yeah, without a doubt. Hey, Julia, you kick in. So what's going on? How are you enjoying the week?
You know, I did not know what to expect when coming into the city, and I've had a couple of eye-opening moments. Walkability is one of them. I mean, I come from LA, right? So when we say it's walkable, really it's not walkable. But here within 5 blocks, we have seen so many restaurants, so many hotels. So that's one thing. The second thing is that convention center food. We had lunch at the convention center, and I've got to tell you, was amazing. I mean, we've all had convention food in LA, and we dread that salad or that chicken that's gonna taste like plastic or rubber, right? But the chef here did such an amazing job, and apparently it's like this for every single one of their meals. And the third thing for me, you know, being from a different culture, I always get a little apprehensive when I'm leaving my town to go visit somewhere different, and I was a little bit concerned, are people going to be friendly? If you bump into somebody, is somebody gonna give you, that dirty look? And Desha and I were in line to get wine, and we had bumped into these people, and they were just so friendly. But everyone is like that. I am so pleasantly surprised.
It's really neat when you start to see it come together like that. And the convention center, it really does stand out in their services. The chef came out and introduced the meal to us as we went, and the wines came from a region locally with wineries. I don't think most people know that Boise holds a really strong wine community. They have wineries within 30 minutes that would rival Napa, and they have the same coastline or the same weather regions that really allow it to be special. One of the things that stands out most to me about Boise is the Visit Boise team. Andrew and Taylor and their team have just customized an event for us to show the best of Boise. And he's introduced us to locals, and we've been taken to restaurants locally that we were really able to see the nature of the individuals that live here. And I've tagged it as a place that's very cool. I live in a region where the individuals don't really have that vibe style. And I have to say, Boise has the vibe style. If you come here and you're in the evening event world and you're taking your group out to a restaurant, you're going to see the other patrons very proud of who they are and where they're at. And it's going to really set that level, that stage that you're going to feel with your guests, that you're doing something that's really special. Ultimately, I think it comes down to just, true honesty about authenticity. And the region itself is growing. Boise wasn't on any of our maps a couple years ago. And when the industry went through its shifts over the last few years, most of us are looking for what else opportunities. And we know the coastline opportunities right now are pretty expensive and they're worth it. But if you're looking for something really that's going to create a value add, let me give it to you this way. The coffee at the convention center is only priced at $40 a gallon. And in the event spaces, when we went to the bars in the evening last night, if you bought a round of drinks for like 10 people, the bar bill was $40. So we're in a really unique area that you can find a budget and elevate your conference to that next level. And I think it's an amazing value-add destination. What do you guys think that really stood out one more step above, and how you think your clients might see this in reference to some other areas? Anybody have a good idea?
Yeah, so coming from the planning side, I mean, this is such a gem. Their convention center, like the others have talked about, the food was amazing, but it's also not a huge convention center. So I have a couple of groups that are in the 800 attendee range. They're kind of growing out of hotels. This would be an amazing location for them because the convention center is small enough that they wouldn't feel that they were just, one of many groups and just kind of get lost in the sea. Another great thing is they have this great space outside that you can reserve where you can have your welcome reception, and it's close to all of the bars and restaurants. I also talked to Visit Boise about possibly like a bar crawl. And then, like we said, the street that the paella was on, you can reserve that. There are so many unique opportunities here for planning. And just being able to give your guests a very unique experience that you wouldn't be able to give in a bigger city. So, that's just something that from a planning side, there are so many opportunities. Another one, the Grove Hotel actually has an ice rink in it. And they have a team that's affiliated with the Dallas Stars. So if that's something you're interested in, when they're not playing, they can cover the ice. That could be an area for a concert or trade show booths. Or again, there's just so many unique opportunities here that you would never be able to get in a bigger city.
One of the biggest requests that I get when a client reaches out for a request, for me to send out an RFP, is we want to be at a property that is close to the airport. And I gotta tell you, the minute that I landed, my driver sent me a text and he said, I will be there in 15 minutes, I'm leaving the hotel right now. So to have the airport so close to your property is amazing.
Well said.
Right?
And you would never know that you were next to an airport.
Yeah, and one of the great things here in Boise is a lot of the properties actually offer a shuttle service to the airport. Not all of them, but the hotel that we're staying at, where we're being hosted, in at 500, they offer a shuttle service. And I must say, this hotel is really, really, really cute. I mean, the rooms are fantastic. It's in a nice location. It's right next to the park. It's across the street from the library, if that's interesting to anyone. And just 2 blocks from the convention center. And all of the hotels are about 2 blocks from the convention center. Doesn't matter which direction you go, east, north, south, west, whatever. So I thought that was really nice because sometimes people don't have the money for transportation. Some groups have to have their guests pay for transportation themselves because they don't have it in the budget. So if you're wanting a hotel with transportation, there are a few here in Boise that offer that complimentary.
Jen, anything else to throw at it?
I think that's it. We've had a great trip. It's been just a wonderful experience.
Yeah. This evening, we're going to all go back out and see a few more of these events. Once again, this is Boise, Idaho. They treated us very well this week, and we can't speak enough about this opportunity. The Inn at 500 was so gracious to let us use their ballroom to film this podcast. We give them a lot of grace and thank you. And of course, our host, Andrew, this week, an amazing individual in the industry. If you haven't run into Andrew, come to IMEX, see him at his booth. He really will take you to that place where you understand what Boise is about. Well, we're going to call it, guys. We'll do more of these as we go around over the year and give you a first-in look at what we're seeing while we're here. Feel free to reach out to any of us with questions. We're here to help you. That's what we love to do.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Well, there we go. Another amazing example of the universe working in its magnificent way today. Appreciate you showing up and look forward to seeing you again at Leadership and Enlightenment.